Treehouse, treehouse, treehouse.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Treehouse podcast. You're with me, Marts, tonight, and we have two brothers in the studio tonight joining us.
Hey.
Everyone, please welcome Carlo and Eric Perlas, better known as the Tower of Doom Bros. Everybody, round of applause. Woo!
Hey, guys.
Feels good to be back, and thank you, boys, for making the time tonight. I know the weather's been sort of crap, and everyone's been busy, but it's awesome you guys are here. So how's it been, guys? How's everything been going to start this off? Like, how's Tower been, and how's like life been for you both? Anyone can start. Free throw.
No, it's pretty good, man. Tower's been we've been doing pretty well. We survived the pandemic, so that was pretty clutch. We set up a new studio like right before the pandemic hit. Actually, so basically, 2019 we had saved up for several years. In 2019 we started building it, and then we opened it like Feb 2020, and then March 2020 everything locked down. So
literally a month before.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I can imagine the headaches you guys were going through.
Man. I mean, it's like everybody. All over it. We spent a couple of hours just calculating how long it was going to take to run out of cash. Did
it feel like a whole like starting from scratch again? Because like Tower's been up a while prior to the newest studio you guys are at. Yeah. But did it feel like a whole new like startup again when you guys made that move?
In a lot of ways, yeah. I mean, yes and no. I suppose yes, in the sense that man, I think everyone had to start from scratch in 2020. Everyone's trying to figure out what do we do now? Especially in the music scene, man.
Gigs shut down, and
there's just no more music industry.
That's true.
That was brutal, but thankfully, Tower's been pretty, I guess, diversified is a good way to put it. A lot of people know us for the music studio and the bands that we work with, stuff like that. But thankfully, we have a lot of other things that we do that a lot of people don't necessarily. It's not something we broadcast regularly, so those things help keep us afloat and all that type of stuff. My hairline did not survive. The pandemic.
Started going up with the pandemic.
More than I do, man. What the fuck?
No, but that's what I was actually very good point, because being the youngest one in the bands that I've been in, more so when I got with Armalite and getting to know you guys and getting closer to you guys. I always thought Tower was like the metal studio. That was it. When I had first learned that you guys were doing more corporate stuff too, like with pop stars, correct me if I'm wrong, like pop artists and whatnot, and more corporate stuff. I was like, damn, I wouldn't have expected, because every time I'm in Tower, it's just gothy, dark, heavy metal energy. But that's awesome, though.
A Halloween party.
It is. It is, man. But yeah, just stemming from that, right? Like how did Tower start for you both? I mean, when you guys had moved here from the States, how did Tower just come upon dude?
Yeah. I was actually into a long time ago when we were not that long ago. I mean,
a year or two
ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was more of a. I was more of into film and video.
Okay.
And I was doing that for school, and then I kind of figured we always wanted to be into I always wanted to be into special effects, right?
Okay.
So I always wanted to work on films or videos, maybe behind the scenes.
Yeah, more post-production.
Yeah, I used to love watching the Star Wars videos where they're making all the Rancor and, all the cool figurines and stuff. So that's how I got interested in film and video. And at the time, Carlo was living in the States. So
just to clarify, Eric's basically been here his whole life. I lived in the States for But I lived in the States for 10 years or so, and then I moved back.
Yeah. So you just followed when Tower sort of came about.
Yeah, but so we were doing film and video track, and I just started thinking about. I had a band with Yagi and the guys for COG.
Yeah,
and we were also working on our own EP, and I got to record with and Angie Tracks, and
nice.
it was our first pro recording experience, and our dad's actually been into bands. He's had his own he had his own band all those years ago, and so we were already sort of like playing around with the 4-track at the house, and so there was always that experience. But yeah, then I just I love that experience so much that I want to check out some audio recording courses. So there wasn't anything at the time like YouTube or anything like that. It was that long ago, guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
there wasn't YouTube University.
There's no line about that, guys. So, So Boss Keddy from Ateneo, Keddy Sanchez, he handles. He was a producer for Wolfgang stuff all the way back then when we were in high school, and he had a course and just for intro to audio, and that was actually my first class, right?
Was it like a certificate, like a program?
No, it was just one of our classes. For our I just loved it so much that I started. Maybe I'll keep on working on it, and I decided to do a thesis on it. So
nice. Okay.
So the thesis was digital recording studios and how they could how can home, it was called frugal recording. How could home studios ever compete with professional recording studios? So I had done a lot of research and done a bunch of work there, and after all that, the conclusion was we'd never be able to beat a professional recording studio. But it was sort of a downer. But I had done all this work on it, so I just kept on working on. Maybe let's see how if we can find a sound card. And we got an old sound card. Started working on some. It was like one of these. It was an SD audio sound card made in South Korea. The manual had no English, and it was fucked up, man.
Really bare bones, learning from scratch.
It had a printer cable and everything, and there wasn't any USB at the time. Oh my god, it's getting older and older. It's a story unfolds.
Eric's age is showing. So would you say you really went into it? I mean, how did Tower, in a sense, how did you start getting interest into maybe we can start trying different bands?
So we did our own band, and and that EP led to other EPs, and started looking around with bands playing Divide the Sky, Boy Elroy, and Valley of Chrome, Bino Kudos, a bunch of these first Tower guys, Power Tools from Olongapo. We were touring with a lot of bands and just playing shows all over the city. And in the Cog was playing all over the place too, out of town and stuff. And we would meet bands, and that's how we met a bunch of these guys who were on the Tower of Doom label at the very beginning. And Valley of Chrome and Bloodshed and all these guys. We sort of worked on those Sin
heavier stuff. Yeah. I remember there was a Kamikaze show. I think it was a Tower show in 19 East. I think you guys were recording, and then Jay just mentioned all the same bands you just mentioned now. Bloodshed, Sin. So even
and then out of the blue, out of that full rock and metal lineup, there was Out of Body Special, the one hip hop R&B.
Diverse lineup there.
But that's how it started, and it was just in our apartment. And it was a tiny fucking place, but we had nowhere else to record it. We did a lot of those albums there, and at some point we went and built a studio at our dad's bandmate's place, Tito Mario's place, and that's actually just around the corner from here. But so that's where we started recording a bunch of bands, and a lot of those bands. Some of them were from labels, some of them were just independent bands. And when Carlo was visiting from the States, we would always get into conversations this band's pretty good. It would be great if we could get the music out and people could hear them.
So is it sorry to cut you off, was it more of a passion project at the time when you were recording in that studio you guys just set up?
Oh, well, I mean both. It was a passion project at the same time.
You were already sort of like charging for the
So I mean, of course, it was a business, back then too, and but ever since, actually, to your point earlier, the name sounds very doom and gloom, but I've recorded bands from all sorts of genres, and even back then when we were first starting out, it was just anybody who would pay us to record them or to let us record them, so and that was everybody. That was reggae or pop or all kinds of stuff. So it wasn't
the funny
just metal.
thing is like the cost per song. So like this is the time before when laptops were still like really pricey and all that type of stuff. So Eric would like record a band in Alabang and literally like drive down there, or like take the bus sometimes, and just like carrying your tower PC, like the
CPU,
your fucking
CRT monitor,
dude,
all that type of shit. Then like
I used to write my studio notes on rocks and stones, just
yeah. Sometimes you're in the middle of the
turn
session.
the hi-hat up next time.
You're in the middle of the session, you run out of coal, so the computer might turn off. So it's like a whole thing.
Classic.
The thing I wanted to like a highlight, which is kind of funny to think about it, is like so obviously like back in the day, Eric was just building a name for himself. So he was doing like a per song rate or whatnot. And what's funny is like I don't think that rate has changed over the last 20 years. I think a lot of studios are still offering like
Dito man. I once charged a band 500 pesos a song.
There you go.
Recording,
just to get them through the door.
That's everything. Recording, mixing, mastering a song.
You better believe it.
Oh damn, dude.
Damn, dude is right. It was a painful, excruciating time.
Dude, I can imagine, man. 500 pesos, what? Like minimum of 10 hours a track.
Yeah, everybody's got to start somewhere, man.
That's true. That's true, man.
And it was just the only. I was also just learning, and there wasn't a way for me to learn from any other way than just doing it.
Experience,
so
trial by fire.
Yeah, really that,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much how we got into bands. And at some point, we and Carlo were talking about, maybe we should take some of these CDs and try to put them in stores. And William and Kathleen from UR and pointed us into William from Galaxy, and we were able to finally get some distribution for a lot of the bands
that you guys were recording.
And that's when Carlo came back from the US. So
is that why you also sort of primarily came back for good here for Tower when you?
I mean, not really. Like
it was planned already.
I came back. Just because I was born and raised here, so I spent like the first 10 years of my life, and I spent 10 years in the States.
Okay.
And then I don't know. I mean, me and Eric have been super close ever since. So it's like I always kind of wanted to move back, and then I was
just
like,
be together.
Come back, and then. Before we knew it, me and Eric were talking about it. Then I was like, let's go ahead. I'll be the suit. I'll be the numbers / business guy. We'll try to make a label. And that proceeded to be the most financially ruinous decision of our lives for several years. But
it was good until the internet speed started to catch up here.
Yeah. So was it just primarily both of you, like 2-man team, like in the start? Would you say?
At first, yeah. At first it was, we eventually put together, once everybody started getting better speeds past dial-up, like it was like a complete
technology
correlation, right?
But we started off. It was just the two of us, and then
CD sales.
We got a few guys. A good friend of ours, Arlo from Olongapo. He became like our first employee number one, basically.
Oh, Arlo Amisa.
Yeah.
Arlo. Yeah. Shout out Arlo if you're checking this out.
New metal man.
And so he came down, and then we took it a bit more seriously, and then we did like a few tours, like because we had the bands, we had CDs in stores, and wanted to promote it, so we did like some metal tours. Got a little bit of sponsorship from Red Horse at the time.
Nice.
JB.
JB Basic, that's right.
Jericho and the guys.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, we had no fucking idea what we were doing, man. Like, we were just...
Dude, props, man.
trying it out.
Imagine, even more so at that point when things weren't things were so new, that bands were still coming up in technology and everything. I can imagine how scary that must have been for you guys too.
Yeah, and there's no Facebook.
Exactly, there's nothing yet. It's so easy nowadays, but I can imagine during your time.
We did most of our best marketing through the Rockista rock forums.
Damn, the forum radio, all that. Like that was really the thing.
Yeah, Rockista was crucial to that tour, because they had over like 80,000 users, I think, and like 30,000 users online at one point in time, right? So this is a long time ago. So I mean, we were just looking for fans of heavy music, and that was the place to go. So Pulp, Joey and Vernon and everybody at Pulp, helped us out with that as well.
Yeah.
And Pulp Community Forum, and anybody used to be on that. Yeah, you're fucking old.
So when you say forum, you mean forum sites, correct?
Yeah, so there's forum sites, and there wasn't any other way to contact fans of heavy music. MySpace was still a thing, right?
So, I reached the latter of the MySpace era, if I'm not mistaken.
God, thanks a lot, man.
I didn't mean to rub it in.
That was his
rubbing salt in the wound. Look at that. Look at this shit.
That was an attempt to find common ground, just made us older.
I know, dude, I'm sorry. I realized after I said it that, that may not have sounded too good. But man, like I can imagine, because I remember there was a point where Film Music was a forum site, if you guys remember. Like that's where all the gear
Film
was.
Music,
So it was like good times, now like everything's just so available. So like seeing Tower, especially hearing stories from 8 and from you guys as the times we get to hang before, whether be in the studio or somewhere else. It's interesting, man, because like there was just really not much you could do back then, like compared to now. I mean, how much easier it is now to start this. You can start a studio at home now, get people to come to your bedroom, and it's insane to hear and see how Tower has gotten to now, man. Props to you both, man. Really,
thank you,
insane,
man.
Dude.
Credit where it's due, man. Eight was actually instrumental to a lot of these big projects I got early on. I mean, I had known him since I was I'm a Daga, a senior Daga at this point, but
a Daga.
One of the OGs.
Yeah, a Daga. Senior Daga. But so like I'm like an OG Daga, I used to go to all the Keso gigs, so I knew Aiden the guys a long time ago. But I mean he would come over to the studio, and he got the guys from Kamikaze interested, and we'd bring everybody over to the studio, and a lot of the bigger projects that I ended up getting
Franco.
Franco, and just the bigger label projects I'm in. And those were really crazy days. We would party to like 7 a.m, like go into work at 2 p.m. Just record the whole day till midnight, and just everyone wants to stay and drink, for hours.
Now, I was gonna ask, actually, just in that era that you just mentioned, what would be like the craziest thing you can remember?
But I mean, we used to have a ton of parties back then, just drinking as much rum as our bellies would tolerate, and as much Angel's Burger as we could
Angel's Burger,
pound back,
across,
That's when we pioneered the feed bag maneuver.
What is that? I've never heard of this.
It's a I guess you could call it a recording technique. So basically, when you have a band who records at the studio and they have a really good time, they'll tend to drink, obviously because they're having a good time. They want to celebrate. And not everyone can hold their liquor, so after a while, you have someone who's just vomiting all over himself. And nakakapagod din. They like to keep cleaning him up,
taking care of them.
So the feedback maneuver is getting like a plastic bag, tying it around the ears of them, and then just leaving it there so they can. And then at least the rest of us can party.
And whoever that is isn't hassling anyone.
He's not choking.
Pioneered by Kenneth of April Morning Skies.
Kenneth, man.
Gotta drop it, man.
Now, speaking of name dropping, I was actually gonna. it just came to mind. My bandmate in Runway, Matt Warren, has a video on YouTube.
Oh my God, yeah.
Sorry, Matt. I don't mean to drop the ball here.
I miss you, brother. I miss you, Matt.
I miss you too, dude. But I saw the video on playing him like a fiddle.
Oh god,
That was our very first YouTube upload, actually.
Was it really?
Yeah,
Dude,
Matt Warren has that distinction. He's Tower of Doom's first.
Dude, that's so
YouTube.
good.
Because of that Matt Warren video, he led us on the road to 1 million subs.
Thank you, man.
Shout
Thanks,
out, Matt, dude. Yeah, man. I remember watching that video and I was like, that was in the studio, that runway had the green one, was it? Correct? The smaller one?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
With McCoy. Yeah, and I just remember seeing that video and I was just like, Matt, what is that? He goes, bro, if the Perlas brothers ever offers you rum, that's not just going to be a glass or two. Like, that's a whole night. And I'm like, staying away.
Yes.
Fun time.
Oh, speaking of which, people who have recorded the tower or whatnot kind of like associate us with rum, Tanduay in particular. This is because of a very cunning business move made by the Tanduay marketing arm back in the 90s. Because our dad was a really big Steven Seagal fan.
Yeah, he fucking loves Steven Seagal.
And then back in like 95 or some shit like that, like Tanduay flew him down and said, Tanduay, I found gold in the Philippines.
Yeah, it's so true.
Did he had an ad here?
And our dad loved that shit so much that he raised me and Eric on Tanduay.
Yeah,
because
that's
Steven Seagal.
Completely true. 100%.
That singular ad has been worth well over 1 million in sales for them over like
Tanduay, if you're listening, you guys did right, man.
Bring him back.
It was a generation, you know.
Yeah, I remember
generational. It just got passed down from dad, you know, his love for Steven Seagal.
That translated to Tanduay.
That's why we love Tanduay, you know. It's just,
dude, there was a time I remember I went to the studio and I asked McCoy for water and he's like, just get in the ref. When I opened the ref, dude, both the ref and freezer, just Tanduay in the pads, like stacked. And then McCoy goes, there's gonna be a party tonight or tomorrow, but that's Eric's, and I'm like, oh,
that's Eric's thing. Nice. Yeah. There was a time where McCoy was known as Party Mac.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. So the gout got the better of him. So he's been lying low, you know.
If
recently.
walls could speak, I assume, dude. That your studio. What studio would you say had like the most? I wouldn't say fuck ups, but like the harder days, the harder partying. Would it be the studio in Kamuning, the one with the stairs?
Oh, the in Armon's building.
Yeah. Sorry,
that probably had the most parties, probably. Yeah, but the one with Tito Mario's was pretty crazy too. I mean, and we would party for longer, right?
Yeah.
We were younger once. Once upon a time, guys. We had the ability to stay up past 2 in the morning.
Nakakatawa kasi dyan parang the very first studio, nasa likod siya ng sari-sari store.
Okay.
And so when we moved in there, it was just a small dinky store, and we were there for 5 plus, actually maybe almost 10, maybe 8 years or so. And during that time, so sobrang solid yung Tanduay sales nila. They literally doubled in size. Like they had like they had like several expansions. They bought a ref and then would just leave the ref stacked with beer and rum. Yeah. And then it was just an honor system. It was just
lista where you can just write down what you got.
Yeah. When we moved out of there, we had a surprise bill.
And so did MCA. MCA hated that bill. What the hell is the freaking
all alcohol?
all this cash on
Eric, how could they have possibly drank 70,000 pesos worth of beer?
It's like, what do you want me to say?
They had a lot of friends.
People kept coming.
Yeah, we didn't make any money off of that. But yeah, I mean,
that was the old label, man. But those were fun parties too, and all the bands really felt at home in those studios, you know. So. For me and Carlo, it was always our pleasure to have everybody partying there, you know. Yeah. So.
No, actually, very, very well said. Because I remember the first time as intimidated as I was, my first time going to Tower, because I'd hear from friends and then everyone for the heavier genre, like these guys are the top tier. So me being the youngest in both my bands, it's like, okay, cool. I'll prep, you know. And when I had first entered, I just remember meeting. I think I met you before I met Carlo. And then I met McCoy, but then I was like, "Oh, dude, it's not as scary as it seems here. Like, actually, it's very comfy."
Yeah.
And man, very well said with the homie vibe, because it was always a good time there, dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
Always a good time.
The last studio we had was sa Armon's building dati sa Kamyas, and then it was on the 4th floor, And it was a really old, decrepit building, you know, like fucking cracks in the walls, roaches everywhere and shit. And
no elevators.
Yeah, no elevators. So
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah. No, I can, like, when 8 would say those stairs, I'm like, it wasn't so bad. But then again, I'm a bass player, so I only have one bag, dude.
No, the only reason I brought that up was I remember a quote, like, when we were doing an advertising project, and this creative director came by, an Australian guy. Yeah. And when he got into the studio, he's like, oh, this isn't so bad, mate. When all the last 3 floors, I thought I was going to a fucking crack house. But once you get in, it's really nice in here. You know? So, we when we moved to the new place, we tried to get rid of the crack house vibe and try to pretty it up a little bit.
Pretty it up,
dude. It's funny because I get what you mean when you say crack house vibe. I get it, but then man, it was such a homey spot though. I love your studio now, man. Like your living room. I always tell my friends whenever I'm there, it's like. I remember like the Jackass Viva La Bam era. The high ceilings, you know. Dude, you have like quarter pipes in each end.
Whoa, how old are you, man? How old are you? Whoa, Viva La Bam.
Age is showing. Age is showing. Whoa.
Trying to keep up.
Viva La Bam, what's that? Wow. Wow.
That did show my age.
Yeah, well, no, for us, man, we're especially now that the pandemic finally is coming to a close, it seems. But we're super happy. Everybody's finally coming back. We're happy that all the bands have shows to play again, where everyone's got events to go to, and the new place. We know that it's different, but we're just so happy everyone's coming back in to record and work on their projects again, and it's just. We want to make it the same kind of home for everybody, you know. And we still got a bunch of unlimited rum, so
it's still there. It's still there.
So only rum there for everybody. So
I remember when it was a dub listening party. Was that last week? Correct, like 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
When Manu and I came over, I remember when Carlo showed us around again. When we stepped foot in the big studio, I remember Manu and I just looked at each other and were like, dude, something about the room where it's like you just want to write. You know, it's like it's inspiring to be in there. So it was like, ooh, I told 8 we gotta get back to the studio, man. I want to sort of be in Tower a bit more nowadays.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Because it's so close to my house too, dude. Like compared to the old one, literally like 7 minutes away. It's the best. I could literally bike there.
But I mean, we tried to make a space that felt like that, right? Yeah. Like when we were planning out the new space. I don't know. We really just wanted to make cool content, man. We just wanted to make cool shit, you know, like whether that's a live performance or getting bands to get motivated and write and all that type of stuff. And it's bittersweet, I suppose. Like that, you know, we were planning it for so long that when we launched it, we had like 2 years where basically no one could come in, you know, 2.5. But it's nice now because now everyone's coming in more regularly. Like the studio has a lot of bookings now. And it's just, you know, it was something we were trying to achieve, so I'm glad you felt that way, man.
Yeah, no, for sure, dude.
You felt it.
100%. 100%. I remember that same night. We went here after, no, man. We came straight here. Yeah, I remember telling 8, like, dude, we should, like do a lot of this the podcast and Treehouse stuff ready so we can sort of go back to Armalite. That's why earlier I asked Manu if he brought the demos. Yeah. Because I just wanted to, like, learn the songs ready so I could be like, yo, 8, let's go to Tower, man. Like, it's just time to go back, dude. Yeah. No, but it's insane, man. So, like, nowadays, like, mentioning now that bands are back and whatnot, like, how would you say, and this is a personal, curious question I've always wondered, how would you say what's the word I'm looking for? The dynamic of, like, the heavy music now, the heavy bands now, and the lighter, more corporate stuff that you guys are handling, would it be like a 50-50 nowadays with everything sort of being back?
No, I mean, I think actually, like the heavier stuff is actually just taking lying low for now, right? I mean, it seems like a lot of the bands. I mean, not specifically at Tower, but I mean just in general. A lot of the heavier bands are doing their own thing underground, you know, and it's always been like that anyway, right? Yeah. But I mean. Yeah, I mean, we still have a lot of projects, but I mean, everybody's into, I guess, more mainstream stuff, more accessible stuff in general. Yeah. And we also have those projects too, you know. But I mean, I wouldn't say 50-50. I think in general, more the heavier stuff is sort of like lying low these days, you know. Even with the gigs, I mean, it's not like before, right?
It's still not there yet. Yeah.
And I mean, culturally, it always goes up and down in waves, right? There's like different trends, whether it's
whatever's popping,
stuff or hip hop or whatever, right? Like, and unfortunately, there hasn't been a lot of push or support for like metal stuff. But I mean, like. It, especially after like Pulp stopped doing the slam stuff like that, you know.
Vernon's coming back now.
Vernon's coming back, and also Jeff and the Numinous guys and everything they're doing with the Wacken. And it's really cool to see, you know, like those metal shows, and he's trying to get some momentum behind these guys and stuff. So that's been really cool recently, like seeing a lot of different teams, like just trying to blow some life into it, you know, because like. It's hard, man. It's never gonna be. It's hard to translate TikTok translate metal into TikTok. You know?
For sure.
Unfortunately, that's a really big part of music marketing now. You know?
Dude, social media is a huge thing nowadays, man.
And so there's definitely like a built-in difficulty for it, but it's really cool, man. It's really cool to see people pushing for it. It's cool to see people supporting it and having fun with it. You know, so. Yeah, it's definitely. We just have fewer metal inquiries, to be honest. Like
in general,
a lot of the bands who want to record with us now are all types of different genres. Like we had this like spiritual. I guess chakra music, is that the best way to put it?
Those
meditation guidance.
There you go.
You get all types of stuff, you know.
Yeah, so
that must be interesting though for you guys more so.
Oh, for sure, man.
Because it's like, but how does that work? Because like I don't know what it's like to be behind like or record professionally, right? But like coming from, I guess you guys more so you Eric being in a metal band growing up, how was the like adjustment or you know when Tower sort of became Tower and you were getting a bit more established, I guess, and having to take in more clients, regardless of the reasoning. How was the adjustment for you coming from like a metal background or a heavy music background, adapting to like the lighter stuff that came in?
No, well, I mean, I think ever since, you know, I've always been open to record pretty much anybody, right, who would come into the studio, and so even all the way back in those first few years, I was always doing. All sorts of pop projects, and whether it was manufactured female acts or whatever, you know,
one of those groups like the groups, the group acts.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, a lot of that stuff is really different from the metal scene in general, right? So, and just in mainstream in general, it's you know, the metal guys are
it's a bit different.
Work a different way.
Yeah.
I think now it's a little bit it's way easier now actually for metal guys to just hold up and just work on the music at home, right? So
true.
I see a lot of that happening, and there's some great resources now on YouTube that everybody gets into. So there's a lot of there's a lot more information now, so it's great to actually see a lot of people recording at the house at home, and maybe some they'll just send us the tracks to help with the final mix. That happens too, you know. So, but I mean, I think for generally for metal, it's more of like it's more like that, you know, and that maybe that's also because they don't have the backing that a lot of the mainstream acts have, you know. So. But yeah, I mean, as an adjustment, it wasn't really more. I mean, back to your question, you know, I mean, it wasn't really an adjustment for me. I think just because we were always working on different things.
Yeah.
Even just the connotation of a Tower of Doom, right?
Yeah.
You'd think it's all metal, but
that like growing up, that was it for me. That's why I guess even like as on my end, it's a shock to hear that.
Yeah.
Maybe because I didn't know, but then it's like seeing how you guys have progressed throughout the years, because like. I think I've been hanging and I've been going to Tower since 2015 more or less.
Yeah.
So you know, seeing that, because I really remember walking in there and being like, all right, death metal, like let's go, you know, like growls and everything. So seeing you guys now, it's insane, man. So I just had to ask because a good friend of mine who is the director of this podcast, Manu. He worked. He had Glasstone for a while, and I remember there were times before we'd be hanging out, and he wouldn't say that he didn't want to mix the certain track, but he would always tell me it would be different if it wasn't like his preference of genre, I guess.
No, for sure.
So it's a different, like I guess, ear approach. And I asked this because like I have no background in that, so I always wondered, for a studio as big as yours has become, like I'm sure the quick adapt to having to change how you listen to things comes in to play with that.
Yeah, sure, for sure, man. I mean, I actually believe that. I mean, it taints your work, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're into a particular genre or a particular kind of music, it makes my job harder as an engineer or producer to work on something else, right?
Yeah.
So, I really try to keep myself away from like lots of influences, right, so to speak. So I'll really try to like limit my listening to more of like just work.
Yeah.
And just trying to figure out what would be best for that specific project, and it won't be more of like that's what if you're always listening to stuff, you're always finding it pop up in your work, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Oh, maybe we should do this in this spot. And oh shit, I took that from something else. I was into this song, right? So.
Yeah, because I remember I went with 8 and Kesso when they had their jam song, right? And you were in the studio and you were actually like giving, like you were sort of listening to the recordings, to the jam, to the free jam, and you were giving like tips on what part should be done here. So I remember sitting down and just watching, and I was like, I wonder how it would be if that was like a K-pop artist like singing that. You know what I mean? Because it's very different.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. Very interesting. I still can't fathom how you guys did that.
I think at the end of it, like after you've done it enough, recorded enough songs, and just try to get used to tightening up the fat, or cutting the fat rather, and just tightening up the arrangements and stuff, you can sort of like look at a song and figure out which parts need to be there more, which parts need to be there less. And maybe, does that make sense? Yeah.
That's it makes sense for sure.
So I think maybe it comes from that. But yeah, I mean, I try to keep away from anything that's not like work related.
Yeah.
So
in the moment, just so your focus is there.
Yeah.
It's like trying to cut the bias out from yourself, right?
Yeah,
Like
I was going to say bias would be the word there.
Everyone falls into bias traps all the time, no matter what. Not even just in music, but
in general.
It's a human thing, right? But
that's true.
So the irony is Eric loved music so much he got into a career where he works on music all the time, and he doesn't listen to music at all. Like just so you guys understand, like he doesn't listen to music ever. Like
it's only when you're in the studio you listen to the work you get to.
I mean,
when was the last time you listened to music for pleasure? Like,
good question, dude.
I was spinning the Pantera CD. He doesn't like Pantera.
Ooh.
You don't like Pantera.
Oh, you remember that from the pod, dude? No, it's not. I don't like Pantera.
I think this interview's over.
Interview's over.
I didn't grow up with them, but yes, I respect them. It's just I can't say, I don't want to act like a poser and be like, oh yeah, Pantera, you know.
Oh, Cemetery Gates, dude.
Wear their shirt and then not know a single song.
No, I mean, it's just you. Generally, I try to not listen to any music if it's not presented from the band or from the artist. If it's something that's they've been working on, I just want it to be like a clean palette, something like that.
Just so there's no outside influences that can come in as well. Yeah, man. So like, just stemming away from that, like, what would like Tower, like nowadays, what's keeping Tower busy? If it's cool to ask, like, what have you guys been working on the past couple months, maybe?
So I guess we're pretty lucky because we're busy in different things. Like, so basically the way it goes now is I'm still the suit. So I'm doing all the corporate shit. So that's basically like advertising or video stuff is a lot of what I do. Eric is in charge of like content and the audio, and man, end of the day, we're just fucking lucky, dude. Like, for example, like we're still doing a lot of December Avenue stuff, and of course that was a once in a lifetime chamba lang talaga, like for them to make it big. So we're really happy with
they earned it. They earned it.
Oh, December Ave, like a tower under tower. Yeah, like now. I know they were before, but up to now,
ever since.
Oh, nice.
But like, so we're still working on their songs and all that type of stuff. So, obviously in terms of our roster, like the bands who are signed to us, they're the biggest ones. But we still have a lot of great acts. Like, we still work a lot with Queso or Hounds or Chico or whatever, right? They just don't come in as regularly as some of the other bands. So in terms of our content, we're still working on a lot of bands. We are also really lucky. We got to work with Urban Dub for their the Rebirth thing.
Yeah.
So that was a client project. That wasn't a Tower. It's not under Tower.
Yeah.
It's under Warner. Yeah.
Oh, nice. The recent one.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
album's nice.
So we're still busy with a lot of music, both in house and then also bookings from outside clients.
Yeah.
Still doing a lot of advertising work and trying other stuff on
Nice.
the side.
Yeah, we and during the pandemic we were doing the Tower Sessions live episodes
I
on
was just
Facebook.
about to ask actually about that because I know there was a point you guys were coming
Excuse me.
out like nonstop with Tower Sessions.
Yeah, I mean, it was just really me and Carlo wanted to just sort of keep things going. It was such a long time that everyone had to just stay at home, and we realized, hey, we have this space here, and let's just get everybody tested so everyone feels comfortable to come in, and maybe we can try these episodes out. And it was a huge thing for us just to see all the response from the fans and everybody just watching at home. So I mean, to everybody who enjoyed those episodes, thank you guys. You guys were really the reason that all the bands as well, where everyone was just so floored by the reception for all those shows. But I mean, we did that, and now that events have started to pick up again, we still have that space, but a lot of the bands are now busy at live shows. So, but I mean, we've always Tower Sessions is always on the horizon for us. We're always talking about it, how we want to work on the music again and stuff. So, but I mean, we're busy pretty much with a lot of that, a lot of the content plans with the bands. We've also been working on developing newer artists. Carissa and Kevin Luna, and we've been trying to pitch more artists out on the channel and just trying to get more new faces out there, and we were always busy with that. But I mean, we always got something.
Actually, I was gonna ask more just to make it a tad bit more personal. Like, what would be like both of your current I guess you can say bias, like artists that you're working on now that you're excited for people to sort of hear?
I think that's kind of a bit of a hard question because like we've been in the game for a while, right? Like we've been doing this since like 2005 2006 I suppose, right? So it's like there's a lot of artists we like, but because we're involved on so many different levels of it, like there's different things of it, so for example, Eric had mentioned this guy Kevin Luna. Cool dude. He's half Pinoy from the States, and he's coming back. And I don't know, it's just fun because he's a young guy. He's talented. He's really excited. Just that type of energy coming into it, So it's like I like different things about different people. It's such a suit fucking answer, but it's same, man. Like I also don't listen to a lot of music anymore. So it's rare. It's funny because me and Eric like to look back on like just the journey we've been through for the past 2 decades, basically, and it's just funny because the more as you go through it, like you kind of look back on how you used to think about things. Like for example, back in 2005 or so, we're like, fuck, if we can just get this one single on the radio, people are gonna hear it, and this song's gonna change lives. That's not at all how it works. It's like. Eric actually hinted at this, like for December Avenue. Those guys worked so hard for so long, and then we also worked hard, and then we really believed in them, and then they believed in themselves also, and like a lot of people can say chamba or you got lucky or whatever, lightning in a bottle, but you only get that because you grind so hard at it,
That's
and so,
exactly. Yeah, fair.
And so, like, because I mean, me personally, I think that's probably going to be a bias of mine forever. Like, if I had to pick one band, December Avenue is super close in my heart, but not because I sit in my room crying about their love songs, but like because we've been part of their journey, and seeing how hard they worked for it, what they achieved, and how
being part of the process.
That's true. that I guess that's the long.
Yeah,
long
sorry, that was a suit question on my end too. Sorry about that.
No, for me, it's I want to get the Queso song out, man. I want it out. I want it out, 8.
Let's do it. 8.
I know this is 8's place, but I gotta say it, man. It's been too long, motherfucker. Senior Degas.
Senior Degas.
Senior Degas wants this shit out. I want it out. 8,
We're all waiting for that, man. We're all waiting for that for sure.
New Queso stuff. Yeah, we Franco and the guys are also busy. We were working on some new stuff for them too. You know, we have our hands full with such so many great projects, man.
That's sick, man. It's so good to hear.
You know, I mean, like Carlo was saying, we feel lucky. You know, we feel lucky to be in this position, and we're happy to work on all these these projects, man.
No, for sure, dude. And just like what Carlo was saying back, like just earlier about like you guys put in the work, man, and like it's just what do you say, Manu? What's your word? The universe.
Starts off alive.
Yeah, I guess you put it, you get what you give in a sense, right? So that's cool, man. It's very nice to hear. But yeah, man. Before closing this out, I just wanna anything you guys wanna sort of share, promote, let people know about. I'll give you guys the red carpet before we close the show out, man.
Yeah, content-wise, guys, if you guys want to check out Tower of Doom, you guys can check us out on pretty much everywhere. We got a TikTok of Doom on TikTok and Facebook.
Are you guys really called TikTok of Doom?
Yeah.
Oh,
TikTok of Doom. And,
I'm gonna follow that right now.
Yeah, we're always on YouTube, and you guys can always like and subscribe, and we can. We're always uploading stuff periodically as soon as we have the time to drop stuff. Things are scheduled on our Facebook page. You guys can find us there.
What's up?
So. Hey, what's up, motherfucker?
Yeah. What's up, man? You flying from Bacolod just for this?
Yeah, right here,
for
man.
everyone who doesn't know, Mr. Pakoy of Typecast just came into the studio.
These guys got a little surprise as well.
I know.
Coming down the pipeline.
I've heard.
A little bit of a spoiler there. Yeah.
No, but for real though, thank you guys for making time tonight, man. Like, I hope I didn't take too much of your night, but it was really great chatting with you guys, dude. And everybody, again, like Eric mentioned, look for Tower of Doom on socials. If you guys ever need anything related to music or content, do check them out. They are biasly my favorite. Sorry. Oh, okay. I thought you were telling me something. They were my favorite.
Manu's gonna edit this part out. So it's okay.
He's gonna make it Glasstone. No, but really, thank you guys so much, and I look forward to hanging and working with you guys too in the future. Everybody, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Treehouse Podcast. You're with me, Mart, and we have Eric and Carlo Perlas with us again tonight. Thank you guys. Round of applause, everybody. We'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thank you.
Stay metal, everybody.
Hey, what's up? My name's Josie. His name's Frankie.
And my name is Marts. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see, please do follow us on our socials for more updates.